to everyone. Can I go ahead? Yeah, is that
Yeah,
a go ahead?
sure. Yes, please.
Sure. All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Adepu Ravi Sankar. I'm a fourth year PhD student at IIT Hyderabad. I'm advised by Dr. Vineeth N Balasubramanian. My primary area of interest are machine learning, convex optimization, non-convex optimization. I'd been working in the area of deep learning since 4 years. I did my master's also from IIT Hyderabad under Vineeth. You can find you can find more about me at the link that I just going to provide in the chat window. We did not go in the chat. Okay, yes, that's great. Sure. I also maintain a blog on deep learning since my primary expertise is in the area of deep learning. Hope this will help few users. All right. Apart from machine learning, yoga is my passion. I'm very active in current politics. This is broadly about me. And for the viewers or the guys who are joining this particular webinar, I request everyone to be very, very precise in this question so that everybody will get benefited a lot. That's it. We can
Yeah.
kickstart the webinar.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Ravi, for the introduction. Okay, and I have summarized around 5 questions which came from a lot of people. Okay, these common questions: how to get started in machine learning, and what is the difference between machine learning and data science? A lot of people are confused between AI, machine learning, big data, data analytics. So, what is the interlink between all these things? And
Okay.
what are the best resources, books, videos to get started in ML?
I got that. Okay, shall we go on with one by one? Okay, let me
Yeah.
ask the first. Let me answer the first question. That is, how to get started in machine learning. Let's say, all right.
Yes. Right.
So I'm currently answering the question how to get started in machine learning. So there are two ways broadly. Whether you want to be an applied machine learning scientist or an applied machine learning guy, or uh, you want to do a research in machine learning. So two subjects are very, very important to get started into machine learning, and those two subjects include probability and linear algebra. I repeat, probability and linear algebra are the most important subject to get started into to start your journey in the area of machine learning. Almost any problem in the machine learning area can be viewed as a problem in linear algebra. So to get accustomed with the linear algebra, I'll I'll just post few. Uh, just give me 1 minute. Yeah, linear algebra MOOCs for deep learning. So since given that linear algebra is very, very important, I just posted a link that is helpful for guys to learn linear algebra. I suggest everybody to start reading a book by name Linear Algebra Done Right by Sheldon Axler, or uh, a prof by name Gilbert Stein. His lectures are available online in MIT OpenCourseWare. MIT OpenCourseWare. Yes, Sheldon Axler, correct. And yeah, so if you are comfortable with linear algebra, I would suggest if you are a very, very newbie, maybe Andrew NG course is a very good option. I was muted. Okay. In addition to Andrew NG, yeah. In addition to Andrew NG, assignment solving is the most important, I feel. All right. So Andrew NG has maintains a very good. His assignments are available online. His videos are available online. I would suggest everybody to start the journey with linear algebra and then go start listening to like video lectures by Andrew NG. And the main important thing is doing the assignments. So as long as you don't do your assignments, when you don't get the idea of what exactly is going inside, I mean, you can just play with, like, I mean, if you learn programming language like Python, scikit-learn or something like that, you'll know how to use them, but you'll really not understand what exactly is happening inside, because many of the algorithms, like uh, if algorithm A runs for problem A, it may not work for problem B. So each algorithm, each problem is different in its own nature, and each algorithm is different in its own nature. So you got to understand how the problem is, how the algorithm is being designed. So yeah, so linear algebra will help you to do that a lot. Apart from intervention, okay, doing assignments in intervention will definitely help you a lot. If you're a if you're a grad student, I would suggest you pattern recognition by Bishop is an excellent source. And if you're an undergrad, a book by Tom Mitchell is the best source.
Awesome.
Uh, Having said that, the thumb rule is pretty simple. You got to do the programs, or you got to do the assignments, or you got to do the exercise problem that are given at end of each and every chapter, or else take the already solved problems in Kaggle, start solving them. I mean, what is more important in the area of machine learning is the ability of problem solving. As long as you don't have the ability of problem solving is every problem needs to be dealt individually. So you got to learn the insights of the algorithm. There's a top level. You got to go from bottom up. You got to build your math first, and then you go to enter into the machine learning, and then you take your own programming language and implement the algorithms on your own. In addition to linear algebra, something which is very important is calculus and real analysis. Real analysis is more for research oriented topics, I feel, but calculus is very important. I mean, you may not go deep into the calculus, but at least a high level overview of calculus will definitely help you a lot. So I said only three things. The most important things include calculus, linear algebra, and probability. These things are very important for you to have a successful career in machine learning.
Okay. Yes, thanks. That summarizes well. And how do you distinguish between machine learning and data science and big data, all these things?
I mean, at a philosophical way, I personally feel these are just technical jargons. Like every time, like, what is deep learning? There is nothing like deep learning. It is just a fancy word that has come up. And to be frank enough, even what is machine learning? It's just like technical jargon. I mean, every problem that you solve in machine learning was once solved in 1980s by statisticians. But okay, at least industry is the term that generally coins these kind of terms. When going by industrial jargon, a data scientist broadly, I mean, he has knowledge of everything. Like a data scientist will tell you what algorithm to apply on a given data, and a machine learning researcher will help in executing this particular algorithm. So if you look at the role of a subset into superset, a data scientist is a much bigger role than a machine learning researcher. And big data is, if any data that can be fitted on the main memory of a given machine can be considered as a big data problem. And almost every problem that you see in the current world is a big data problem.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I think these are all, uh, I can say, philosophical things, but at least the question of, I mean, I don't see the term big data. They're used very loosely, I feel.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what are the job opportunities for fresher? Is masters really necessary? How to uh, get into machine learning after BTech?
Well, I mean, okay, I'll share my experience. I was an intern at Amazon Machine Learning Lab in India. That's one of the
Oh.
best labs in India. And even they do hire undergrads for their. Okay, by the way, when you go, if you go for an undergrad, Arghya is joining from the same class, so you can just talk. Okay, fine. Right. So if you are an undergrad, you might be hired for in a I'll tell you how a machine learning research lab works. You have scientists. You have scientists. Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Thanks. Yeah. So you have, as I told you, a machine learning group will have a machine learning lab will have different groups, and each group will be working on a specific problem, and each group will have 4 to 5 PhDs and a bunch of MTechs and bunch of BTechs. The job of uh, the primary aim of MTechs and BTechs is to support the hypotheses that are being given by the scientists. I mean, of course, even PhDs also sit and code, but this a major a lion's share of the job of BTechs will go away in programming the algorithm that are designed by the PhDs. So, and these things, I mean, the kind of jobs that these BTechs will be typically doing is the patchy. So, in order to learn these things, you need to have very good understanding of machine learning problems also. If you go for any industry opportunity, I mean, of course, yes, machine learning is everywhere, and every industry needs machine learning researchers, or broadly say a data scientist. So yes, a thorough understanding of machine learning subjects is necessary. I mean, I don't think any company investing a lot, because I mean these things are something that cannot be picked in 4 months or 5 months. I mean, they need like a couple of years of dedicated study. Like say, I mean, undergrads here take courses right from their fourth semester to get to do a honors project in their final year. So if you want to be hired by good places, if you want to be hired by good companies, you should have a very good thorough knowledge of these things.
Okay.
Yeah, but the opportunities are huge. Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
even you have now, I mean, everything is being replaced by machines, I can say. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right. There is a good article by Mark Anderson called "Software is Eating the World." So in
yes,
that,
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
he mentioned how everything is being instrumented, and
yes,
previously data that cannot be handled are now being easily handled by computers. So things are getting into softwareized.
exactly.
Uh, so yes, and
Exactly.
for a
Just to add
undergraduate,
one more thing
yes,
to
yes.
what.
Mm. Hello.
Yeah, so just to add one more thing, I mean, in addition to what you have just said, like, I mean, now almost many of the deep learning algorithms are successful because we have enough computation to do. I mean, all the
Mm.
models are proposed like in way back in 1990s. Like, let's say if you see the big shots in deep learning, like Hinton or Yann LeCun, these are all veterans, I feel. I mean, the backpropagation algorithm was invented by Hinton and Rumelhart in 1987 or something like that. That
Mm.
was not being used. I mean, people, the model is there, but you don't have enough computation to do that. Exactly. I mean, I totally attribute the entire success to computers, the hardware, the availability of huge hardware. In fact, Nvidia is now claiming themselves as deep learning company, not even a hardware company.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to see the paradigm shift. I worked in NVIDIA from 2010 to 13, so
Yeah.
relate to that. So that's good. And
Yes.
so for an undergraduate, what are the skills you suggest to be strong? I suggest Python programming, for example. They have to be strong
Exactly.
in
So
programming.
yes, yes. So I definitely feel Python programming is a must. I mean, in before to that, I mean, I would suggest everybody to have a very good hands-on and good object-oriented programming. Yeah, they should do. They should be good coders. I mean to say that, yeah, you learn one programming language properly, you'll be able to code in any other language. So Python is very very high level. It's just an interpreter. And yes, coming from the, if you look through programming language through the machine learning eyes, I would say yes, Python is a great source. Yes, Python is undoubtedly the best. I mean, it's very easy. I mean, if you want to code, example, a sample neural network in C++, it might take few kilo lines. I mean, few tens of kilo lines of code. Or if you do the same thing in any of the libraries that are available like Keras or Torch or TensorFlow, it's hardly 50 lines of code. And so, in the view of that, yes, Python is a good source. In addition to that, if you start working in the area of machine learning, many a times every functionality that you need may not be available to you readily. You should be able to write your own code to the existing libraries. So you should be able to understand how to modify the libraries of the Python. I mean, things like this nature. The only thing that I'm saying is you got to be deep.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And Ravi, what are your views on TensorFlow? There is one question by Ankur. He wants to work in TensorFlow.
I saw that. So TensorFlow is undoubtedly good. To be grand enough, I mean, like say, Torch is being backed by Facebook. Everything that they release in Torch. Now TensorFlow is backed by Google. I mean, so they went to extent that they're now Google is producing a hardware that supports TensorFlow. It's up to them what's the programming language that I choose. As far as deep learning is being concerned, there are specific concepts that are in deep learning which are used, I mean, where you choose the programming language based on that. If you're going to work in convolution neural networks, let's say, perhaps Cafe is a great source. If you want to work in other things like RNNs, perhaps Keras or Torch is a great source. And TensorFlow is also good. uh, Torch and TensorFlow go hand in hand. Both are
Okay.
equally good. I mean, both are backed by Facebook and Google. Let's say in the recent, ICML is the best conference for all machine learning researchers. If you look at the number of publications that this Google DeepMind and Facebook have, I mean, they're almost equal, I say.
Mhm.
So everything, it depends. I mean, I mean, to put in simple words, it depends on the application, and it depends on the support that we get. I mean, if there is an open source community that is supporting a programming language, feel free to go for it. I mean, if you see what are the drawbacks. Let's say if you use programming languages like um, what is this called, Theano. Theano is so difficult, I feel. The reason being, I mean, the support you get is very very minimal from the community, whereas the developing community of both Torch and TensorFlow are huge in number. Any query, anywhere you stuck, people are there to help you. So both, I weigh both Torch and TensorFlow equally.
Okay.
And also many a times you don't, let's say you take a research problem, and let's say although you're a great fan of TensorFlow and the entire source code is given in Torch, let's say what you do, you don't sit and write the entire code. You directly go ahead and say, okay, Torch is what I'm going to work on. Simple.
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay. And many students face this difficulty, like they are able to understand at the theory level. Okay. However, when they want to implement something, okay, then it is becoming difficult. Hands-on experience is what they lack most. In an industry
Exactly.
environment, it becomes easier because you have a good mentor or senior who can guide you exactly what to do. Whereas if you are learning on your own, that becomes difficult. How to overcome these difficulties as a self-learner?
Yes, like, so if you're a self learner, I would suggest you whenever, let's say, I mean, this I'll answer by taking an example. Let's say, just for the sake of example, let's say you started learning SVMs, the famous support vector machines in machine learning. After learning that, you should be able to, start implementing the algorithm in your favorite languages, be it Python or in MATLAB or anything, because implementation is the program works if you understand it totally, or if your program doesn't work if you don't understand it properly. So you may not, let's say every algorithm comes with bells and whistles, but at least if you are able to implement at least the bare minimum bare minimum structure of the algorithm, it should be good enough. And or else you can also go the other way around. You take, let's say GitHub is a great source where you get these days code for everything. Take an SVM code that is written in your favorite language. Let's say take svm.python from some repository. Look through each and every line how they coded and try to replicate that if you are a self-learner. Because coding is the place where you actually learn a lot. Yeah, where you'll be 100%. If your code, your algorithm works only if you are foolproof at each and every instruction. Yes.
Okay. And okay, well, there is one question by Abhijit. Okay, should I go for a training institute to join machine learning? Okay, or do you suggest some other alternative? I don't know how good the training institute is, and we don't know much information about
Yeah,
the institute. Yeah,
exactly. I think these things are difficult to answer. It
right.
varies. Perhaps going, instead of going to a training institute, there are many summer schools that are being offered. Many, let's say, recently IIIT is going to organize a workshop on machine learning. And if you look at the speakers, they're stalwarts in their individual areas. I'll just share the link of IIIT Machine Learning Summer School.
Sure.
So
Yes.
perhaps attending the summer schools might be good than, I don't, it depends on the what the credibility of the institute, I'll say. I know few institutes in Hyderabad, that, I went through their syllabus. They don't teach you anything, but then still charge you hefty amounts. I think we should be little careful about these things. Yeah,
Right. Maybe you can the person can ask some seniors who have already completed the course and take a call.
exactly. Yes. So Arghya had just posted the link for computer vision, and in the same way, there is also a summer school on machine learning that's going to be organized in IIIT. Perhaps attending these type of things will help you in networking, and also will help you understand what exactly is the current, how exactly is the current research trends going.
Yes, absolutely. I also favor IIIT Bangalore. They have a very good curriculum on machine learning, and I know some of the alumni of IIIT Bangalore who have done a very good job. One of them, Ashutosh, he used to give webinars on machine learning earlier. So
Oh, okay.
yes, and from him, I came to know that their machine learning group at IIIT Bangalore is pretty strong, and they have got a lot of industry connections. So if
Oh, good
it
to
is
hear.
better to choose from those kind of institutes, summer schools at these kind of reputed institutes, rather than going for some training institute which we don't have much
Exactly.
data about. Yes.
Exactly. Because see, the aim of the academicians is not to earn money, but
Right.
the aim of the yeah, well, yeah,
Right. Right. So anyway, like it is best judgment is by talking to the people who have already attended the course. That would be the best
exactly,
judgment.
exactly.
So, Ravi, are you fine in continuing, or shall we ask Arghya to talk for some time? What do you
No,
feel?
okay, yes. And if there are any deep learning specific questions, I'll take one or two more questions, and perhaps I'll just hand out to Arkia then.
Yes, and maybe we can come back again. Okay, we'll have. after a few questions answered by Arghya, you can join again.
Sure,
Okay.
sure, sure,
Okay.
sure.
And regarding deep learning, there are a couple of questions. How to get hands-on deep learning experience, and other thing is regarding GPUs in deep learning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the issue of GPU haunts everywhere. Even we are limited. Even our research is sometimes limited by the availability of GPUs. Let's say if you look at the way industry works, Facebook every day offers, orders few thousands of GPUs for their research, and we at IIT Hyderabad have hardly we have one GPU cluster that has six NVIDIA Tesla K20s. Well, okay. In order to run any of the deep learning, deep successful models, let's say which go into community conferences like CVP and anything, those models are damn big, pretty big. Few models you can't even load them into into the GPUs. So uh, a minimum variant that I can suggest you, if you are into deep learning, yes, you need to have GPUs. That is a limitation. You should have. Uh, I don't know. Recently, Google has not Google. If you okay, so I'm taking my words back. If you are comfortable, perhaps lending or getting from Amazon AWS might be a good option if you are not able to buy a GPU. The minimum is NVIDIA Teslas. The minimum is NVIDIA Teslas. NVIDIA Tesla has 6 GB of main memory. Even on that, we are not able to load many of the models. Yeah.
Okay. So, and how to get started in deep learning and how it differs from the traditional machine learning?
Deep learning is just a subsidiary of machine learning. It's just a fancy word. Okay, perhaps to answer this, I just posted. I wrote a blog by name "Deep Learning for Dummies" in my blog post.
Okay, that's
That
good.
should reasonably help students. It's a small blog post. I wrote how to start your journey in the deep learning and how to way to end. I just posted the link. Perhaps that should help answer many of the questions.
So, yes. Any more questions for Ravi? All the participants, please feel free to type in the chat window. And Ravi, I will get back to you after Arghya's discussion.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah.
Yes. In the
Okay.
meanwhile, if there will be some questions for you, people will be typing. You can answer those questions.
Sure,
Keep an
sure,
eye
sure.
on the chat window.
Sure. Yeah. So to all the participants, yeah, thank you very much for joining. I'm handing over to Arghya.
Yeah. Thank you, Ravi.
Hello all. Hi.
Hello. Hi, Arghya. Welcome
Yeah,
to the
hi.
conference.
Yeah, hi.
So
Okay.
thank you for taking the time for this webinar.
Yeah. Thank you also. Yeah. So I was listening. Any specific question about I think Ravi has covered almost all, and his blog post is actually very great. This my deep search in deep learning.
Okay. Oh, that
So
is pretty awesome.
yeah. Actually, my guide actually he first told me to follow that blog post, and then he said that, are you comfortable with those kind of thing? I said yes. Then he said, okay, you can go ahead with your research. Yeah,
Okay.
again, so yeah. So
Okay. So
I
what is
strongly
your
recommend.
background?
So my background is generally, so I did my MTech in computer vision image processing, and I did a project under Professor S.M. Prasanna, and my thesis was in online handwritten character recognition and in Bengali character recognition.
Okay.
So my recent work is in deep learning, and I got an entrepreneurship, and my abstract was like how to make a self-driving car, or at least how to structure that. So, okay. Yeah.
Since you are having a good background in visual computing, there is one
Yes.
question which from a candidate is facing an interview at IAC on June 9th, and he has to
Mhm.
choose between choose machine learning, NLP, and visual computing for the interview. How to prepare for these topics in a short time? He has done machine learning in
Mhm.
MTech, but not at a deep level. So, what books do you suggest on how to go
Okay,
about
so only machine learning, like machine learning techniques. Not he doesn't have any background in NLP or computer vision as such.
it? Right, right.
Okay, then for NLP, I can refer this. There is a course by Dan Jurowski. So let me share that. So Dan Jurowski and Manning, they have a good tutorial. Mm, Jurowski, 20. Okay, hello.
Yes,
Just a second.
yes.
So those are actually very short videos. So for NLP, I strongly recommend that series. And yeah, and so and for computer vision. So I think for NLP, this is that suffices. It's a very good, decent lecture series by Stanford professor. And for computer vision, I recommend like to take specific topic and just specific topics like very raw computer vision models, then mid-level computer vision models, and then recent models like computer vision. So for computer vision, you can refer to this video series. Just share. Okay, I think Ravi is sharing that.
Okay, sure.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah,
sure,
Ravi is sharing that. So this is
sure.
a Mubarak Shah's lecture series. So
Okay,
that can be referred. Yes.
okay, awesome. And
Okay.
do you recommend any libraries for handwritten test recognition?
Like handwritten text character recognition is it's a time series model. So time series model, either we can choose any like model like hidden Markov model or recent models like recurrent neural network. So for recurrent neural network, one can use like Keras is a wrapper of Python. So one can use like inbuilt libraries of Keras to build a recurrent neural network that will help to recognize like online characters.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay,
that's it. Yeah,
okay.
because it's a time series model. Because if it is an online, so online means I'm writing and on the fly, I'm detecting the character. So
Mm-hmm.
time series, the time is important there. Yeah.
Okay.
So I recommend Keras.
Mhm. So, since machine learning is a broad field, what specific areas in machine learning is your interest?
My recent work is based on, so machine learning is a broad field as you said, but my specific interest is in deep learning,
Okay.
and within deep learning, like generative models. My
Mm-hmm.
specific like GANs, generative adversarial networks, and like other developments like variational autoencoders. So specifically generative models in deep learning. So this is my present interest. Yeah.
Okay. And for a new person who is coming to IIT Hyderabad, what are the
Mhm.
kind of projects one can expect in machine learning?
IIT Hyderabad, like you are talking about the summer
Sorry.
school.
No, at IIT Hyderabad.
Okay. So can you come again the question?
Yes, so what are the kind of projects that are going on at IIT Hyderabad and a new person
Oh,
joining the lab can expect?
okay. So presently, we are working on like a deep graph model. So we have a big graph, and we are trying to compress that graph. And so presently, MTech student Supriya, she is working on that area. And the next is so we have like uh, images of drone videos, and we are trying to detect human, non-human, other object detection from drone images. So presently, Joseph, he is also MTech student. He is working on that space. Other than that, my senior Ravi, he is working on optimization, which is a very fundamental and like theoretical background of machine learning. And Anirban, so he is my junior, 1 year junior. He is working in like deep representation. So deep learning models are learning something, but how they are learning, what exactly each node is learning, we don't know about that. So can you go and search that? Okay, this node is exactly learning that particular part of the training data. So he is working on, Anirban is working on that space. My work is typically based on video prediction and objectness. So video prediction is like we have a given input sequence, and we are trying to, with that sequence, with that input, we are trying to predict the future. So we have multiple futures. So which is the best possible future, and once we have the future, we can act upon that.
Okay.
So someone who is trying to trying to do a internship career over here can search those lines. So one is the deep graph, one is optimization, what Ravi is working. It's a very fundamental topic, and my work is in video prediction, video recognition. And advance is video like model inception kind of model, and Joseph's work is in loosely saying that okay, recognition of object from a drone data. So that's all we are doing.
Okay. Okay. So, what are the industry that are requiring this kind of expertise after graduation, where your seniors go? Really?
Okay, generally say so my work and Ravi's work are actually funded by Intel. So we are both are Intel fellows.
Okay.
So my work is actually related to Intel's. So Intel has a proposal of like a driverless car. So for driverless car, we can use this video prediction work. And for Ravi's work, this optimization. So we have big models, and we are trying to finding a good optimal like behavior of that model. So he's working. So both the works are like very good in that sense. And Joseph's works were, I think, funded by DRDO, right? His work is funded by DRDO. So at the very like for example, LOC Kargil, or very border like border between India and Pakistan. So we have drone models, and we are taking data from that, and we are actually analyzing that. Okay, this part is terrain, this part is human, this part is, you know, maybe a terrorist group or something. So so we have this industry collaboration, and industry are claiming all those. So we have a good opportunity over there.
Okay. Okay. I think nowadays pretty much many companies are working in machine learning and want to hire people who are
Yes,
experts
yes,
in machine,
yes.
like
Even from,
Google.
yeah, not even Google. Like so, some of our BTech students, they are actually going to the some startup companies, and they're going doing very good. And so in Hyderabad only, we have several startup companies. Those are actually originated by our BTech and MTech students, IITH BTech and MTech students. So this is a good prospect. Like Google, Facebook is a big name, but like a common mass can't go there. But you know, the small companies are also giving good opportunities and giving good fundings.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is a open-ended question by Gokul. How to get a data science or machine learning job as a UG fresher? I think I will summarize my perspective. You can build a strong profile in GitHub or Kaggle. You can solve some data science questions. Okay, since you are a UG person, not a master's, then a strong profile would be a substitute for that. So, what are your reviews for a UG person
Yeah.
to get into machine learning?
Yeah. For UG person, I think they must have a good grip on some recent programming language like Torch, like Keras, and they should attain challenges, data challenges like Kaggle, as you mentioned, and must like they should go to like several summer schools are there, so they should attain those and make a good contact with like industry people. I think this is a good chance.
Right, right. So, any other questions? Please feel free to type in the chat window. So that way, Ravi and Arghya
Mhm.
can uh,
Mhm.
answer the specific question. So, the request to all the participants is to feel free to type in the chat window the specific questions. That would help us a lot. So, fine. So, Arghya, yes, you were talking about your project, right? So, how
Mhm.
your daily routine looks like setting up a cluster, or what kind of things you do, or reading research papers, or doing some systems programming. So, what is or
Okay,
targeting immediate conference? So, how does the day look like?
yeah, as a researcher, you have to target first some good conference. Like, like presently, we are targeting CBP or AAAI because those are at on September. So first, you have to target that conference. You have to target you have to frame a good research topic. Then you have to search a good papers on that domain, related work, and like generally, when I woke up, I just review my problem. That is that problem is actually a problem or not at all? Is that relevant to today's life? And then I search for papers, good research papers. I read that, and generally afternoon I reserve for coding, searching other stuffs. Yeah,
Okay.
that's all.
Okay. So that's a very good point you mentioned. That is thinking about whether the problem is actually a problem. It is applicable to all research field, irrespective
Yeah,
of machine learning or not. Like
yeah,
thinking deeply about the problem at a very broad level, because
yes,
most researchers, once they get into
yeah.
their specific problem, it is natural to forget everything else and focus too much on the problem. It is
Mhm.
better to get a high level perspective of your problem you're trying
And
to
and
solve.
another thing is that nowadays the area is so crowded that you have a problem, but it may happen that like tomorrow someone actually solve that problem and publish a paper. So you have to be updated. You have to be updated.
Right, right, right. Yeah. And okay, and how does one acquire the data needed to test and train the machine learning models? This is one question by Shivam.
Okay. So for data, and I think there is a website called Deep Learning 4J, right? 4G. This data set. You can just bring that. Okay, so actually, there are repositories that hold several data set, but you have to first be specific. Okay, which kind of data set I
Hello,
need? For example, hello.
able to hear.
Hello? 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 Hello, can you hear me? Hello? 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 Okay. I think.
Hi,
Hi, hi.
hey
Hi, hi,
Arghya.
hi.
Uh,
Yeah, hi, hi.
yes,
Hi.
I disconnected and came back. Yes,
Okay, okay. Yeah. So, for dataset, like I just shared a link. So we have natural image dataset, we have geospatial dataset, artificial dataset, like facial datasets, video, text. So it's a good platform. We can go and search several dataset here. But other than that, like people keep publishing good datasets. So say for example, segmentation dataset. You have to just go and check the recent dataset. And for a beginning as a startup, this link that I just shared will be, I think, this will be helpful.
okay. That's great. So, yeah, that's all. I have questions from myself and the audience. And if
Okay,
you
okay,
want
okay.
to summarize anything or share your experience, advice, anything, you can feel free to talk.
So to make a summarize, like so the first thing I think Ravi was talking that the coding is very important. This is the main key. So you rate something, you just go and code that. So this is the way you can learn a concept. Otherwise, just you are learning something and it will take some time to forget. So coding is one thing. So if possible, make an account at the Twitter and try to follow good peoples like Ian Lekan, Ian Goodfellow. So those are the like stalwarts. Try and go and try to find those people and in Twitter, in Facebook, and actually they are publishing their work on Twitter and Facebook. So in that way you can see that okay, what are the recent trends, what are the recent advancement of the in this area. Otherwise, if you have some doubts in some specific domain or something, just before going to the main mathematics, just search for some blogs. There are some good blogs that actually give you a good view of the overall model. And so this thing, and like make a good habit, try to make a good schedule. Okay, do not learn too much on a day, but make it a like routine basis. Do it for 1 hour, but do it very great. And so I think that's all for like summarization. And so hope to see you all in our IITH group. I just told that our working is based on deep graph. Mine is video prediction, video recognition, and Joseph's work is in this drone from like object recognition from drone data, and Ravi is working in optimization, which is a very very good topic. So I think that's all from my part, and with that I am handing over to my senior Ravi Shankar.
Yes, thank you so much, Arghya. You summarized it pretty well. Not only your work, but also your lab mates' work. That is very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you to, Ravi speaking. Thank you to all the participants for joining and asking for good questions also.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you have any queries or anything, feel free to write to us. We are giving our email IDs here.
Okay, that
We'll
would
be
be
more
great.
we'll be more than happy to reply.
Okay, that would be great.
Yeah.
So, fine. And any thoughts or any advice for juniors to get into who are planning to get into machine learning, or any tips and techniques, anything?
Okay, for juniors who want to get into the area of machine learning, I would suggest them to concentrate on maths very well. And since being an optimization guy, I always insist on understanding every problem from a math perspective. And in addition to that, uh, any algorithm that you learn, code it on your own. Don't trust any libraries. Code it on your own and try to run it for few thousand, few hundreds of time, how it is working on different types of algorithms and in different types of data sets for different hyperparameter settings. Then you start developing that intuition of what hyperparameters might work for what kind of data. Why are all these stalwarts are so successful? Because they train lakhs and lakhs of models in their lifetime. So after some point of time, you get that intuition. So the take-home message is coding is very, very important, and you should code each and everything on your own. Yes.
Right. Yes, that is pretty much true. Yeah, you have to get hands-on experience. Then that is the best way to learn. Otherwise, it is
Exactly.
easier to get into the rabbit hole of theory and doing a lot of readings, research without any
Exactly.
hands-on.
Yes. You can just keep, internet has, a huge amounts of massive amount of data that is available. Your reading will never stop. At some point of time, you got to stop reading, close the book, and start implementing and make your hands dirty. Yes, you should do that.
Right. So
Yes.
thank you so much, Ravi, and looking forward to meet you in our upcoming webinars. Thank you for
Sure,
sharing.
sure. Thank you very much. Thank you all the participants, and thank you very much for your for organizing, inviting us for this webinar. And special thanks to Rajesh Pandey for inviting us to join this. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you all, and yeah, and thanks you, Course Hunt, again and again and again. Thank you again. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And
Yeah.
Rajesh, I want to thank Rajesh as well for bringing you speakers today, and he has been coordinating at the background a lot and arranging all these things. So thanks a lot,
Yes.
Raj.
Yes. All right. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Work and have great fun. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye everybody.